and welcome to this edition of Colorado Conversation. I'm Christina Wells. So glad to have you here for a very important conversation today. We are diving into artificial intelligence and the impact that it's having on today's youth, which is obviously a major conversation and something we should be talking about. And I'm joined by Maddie Freeman. She is the CEO and founder of KnowSo. I know that you had a focus group, a couple focus groups recently, where you were speaking with younger people about their feelings regarding artificial intelligence and what they're dealing with it, right?
Right. I mean, yeah, I was looking into research and seeing that 72% of teenagers have used a chatbot, and that 1/5 of all teenagers in the US either have or know someone who has engaged in a romantic relationship with an AI chatbot. And so it really got my mind thinking of, you know, how is this actually affecting young people on the ground when there's no safeguards, no education, but they're just actively jumping on these platforms. And so I wanted to learn straight from young people what their experiences were like.
Let's talk about some of the main concerns that these focus groups, what ages was the focus group for?
Yeah, it was about like 18 to 25-year-olds.
Okay, so they're kind of leaving high school, they're in college, they're entering what we call the real world, right? And so one of the concerns was over-reliance on education and how using your AI in education, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the thing about AI companies, especially platforms like ChatGPT, is they incentivize engagement, and so they do that by really wanting to know you intimately. So they prompt you to continue using it rather than turning to humans. And so if you ask it for homework help for like, hey, what's the answer to this single math problem? It'll give you the answer, and then it'll be like, oh, do you want me to also like graph it and then explain it and then like write a paper about it? Like it'll prompt you to continue generating so that you just can be like, oh, sure, and then it just leads you into that over-reliance.
Right. You know, when you said that there was, what, 1 out of every 5 in this study had showed that they had a romantic relationship with AI, I mean, my brain goes, wait, what? How can that be? Talk more on that.
Yeah, I mean, our generation grew up struggling a lot with mental health, obviously, like I stated earlier, and now the younger generation's even more so, and I think there's been this loneliness crisis that's been declared by the US Surgeon General, and I think that in part that loneliness crisis occurred because of our high access to social media that promised social connection but actually isolated us more for the most part. And so now when it comes to AI, it's just like a lot lower barrier. It's really difficult for a young prepubescent boy to go up to a girl he likes and ask her on a date. That's a very, you know, high stakes, high nervousness situation. And so if you just don't have to do that and you can kind of get this artificial partnership, a romantic engagement that kind of fulfills your needs, not fully, but it kind of hits what you're looking for. A lot of people end up settling for that, and it makes it a lot harder to develop those social skills, especially for younger teens who aren't, you know, haven't gone through puberty yet.
And so